Hey guys, Mr. Hausler here again. So this is for Chapter 8 test prep, functions and equations. But on the test there's retake opportunities as always built in. And we have a retake opportunity on E09 where we're working again on solving system of equations. So again, these retakes are to help keep you fresh and see what you retain. Solving for the following system of equations. So I've got this system of equations. I have different options. I can solve using substitution. I can solve using elimination. I can also solve by graphing. And honestly, that's the order that I like to do them in. If I see anything that is like a leading coefficient of 1 and it's telling me exactly what the x variable is, or it's telling me exactly what the y variable is, I'll try to substitute in for that. That to me is just easier. If not, I'm going to look for opposite coefficients, like a 4 and a -4. That way I can add them up and eliminate. And then finally, the last option, I would go graphing, creating a graph and putting both equations on a line and figuring out where they cross is another way to find a solution. But in this situation, there is no y equals or x equals this, so I'm not going to use substitution. There actually is not even any opposite coefficients, but I'm still going to stick with this one because I don't want to graph. Just don't like taking the time to graph. So I'm going to actually create some opposite coefficients. I see a negative sign here, and I see a +2 here. So if I can just turn this -1 into a -2, I can actually eliminate the x values. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and rewrite this top equation. I'm going to take this top equation and multiply everything in it by a 2. That'll be using the distributive property, and I can rewrite that first equation as -2x plus 12y equals 22. That's the top equation. I'm going to go ahead and add that to the bottom equation. 2x plus 8y equals a -2. I'm going to take those two guys, add them up. And again, the reason I'm doing that is so that I eliminate a variable. Because right now I have 2 equations, 2 variables. That's not really solvable for us. Well, it is, we're going to end up solving it, but you can't solve it in one step. So I got this going on. I'm going to add them up. And those guys actually eliminated. -2 plus a 2 goes away. That's why it's the elimination method. 12 and 8 is 20. So I have 20 y's, and 22 minus 20, or 22 minus 2 is 20. So it actually kind of works out pretty nice, because 20 times what gets me 20. And if you know your math facts, just 20 times a 1. I can divide by 20 on both sides if I didn't know that. Divide by 20, divide by 20. I would still get y equals 1. Awesome. Unfortunately, I have not solved the problem. The problem is going to be a coordinate point. Okay, so that's only part of the answer. Because the answer is going to get communicated as a coordinate point. I only know that the y value is a 1. I still have to go after and find that x value. So I'm going to go ahead and erase all this, and I'm going to attack finding the x value. Again, if you need to see any of that, just rewind the film, you can see it all again. I know what the y value is. The y value is a 1. I can take that y and plug it in here, or I can take that y and plug it in here. Doesn't matter. I'm actually just going to go ahead and I'm going to go with the second one. I don't like this negative exponent here, or this negative x. I like this because they're all positives, so I'm going to go there. They're bigger numbers, but I don't care. They're positive, so I'm going to stay with them. So 2 times x plus 8 times y, but y is a 1, equals -2. So I replaced it in there. That's, again, using substitution. So 2x plus 8 times 1 is 8 equals a -2. Do a little bit of math here, or algebra, work your way backwards. Undo the addition. You get 2 times x is equal to, I'm adding these negatives up so it still stays negative. I get negative 10. 2 times something is a negative 10. Some of you might know that answer right now. If not, undo the multiplication by dividing by 2 on both sides. X remains here because this turns into a 1x, so that's an x. Negative 10 divided by 2, positive 2 is a negative 5. So I can use that to finish up my answer. The full, complete answer is that written as a coordinate point. Some of you like to write this. That's just a list of numbers. That doesn't qualify as a coordinate point. Parentheses need to be placed on it so it looks like it belongs on a coordinate grid and it's a point. Which sort of brings us to this last question. Some students, they do all this algebra and they forget this. If these two equations were placed on the same graph, where would they cross? So again, some students forget to remember that. This is actually just 2 lines, and we're trying to find the point at which the 2 lines cross each other. So if I were to answer this, where would they cross? They cross at the coordinate point 5, 1. Negative 5, 1. So that's just a reminder that it's 2 lines crossing. The answer is a point of intersection.